Welcome to an incomplete guide to personal growth. We invite you to take a breath and take a listen to our podcast that explores the wonder, humor, challenges, and sometimes those self-inflicted wounds on a journey of personal growth.
Our weekly podcast conversations include stories, resources, and tools that you can incorporate into your daily life. We're the mother-daughter duo of Sydney
and Kelly. Hey, Sydney.
Hey, Mom. How are you?
I am good.
Woo, we are.
Woohoo.
This is our last episode for April. I can't believe.
I know.
That's crazy.
It is.
Woo.
Been a rather light month.
Yes.
Kind of fun.
Yeah, kind of fun. What was our banter?
We were talking about the book that got. Somebody recommended, or one of Dad's coworkers gave it to you, and I happened to be talking to my therapist.
Yes.
And I said it, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I just was listening to that audio."
Yes. And so you started the audiobook.
So I started the audiobook.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's good. And then I mentioned it to somebody else, and they said their sister's reading it. It's just like...
The book is Let Them.
Let Them Theory.
Yes,
Let Them Theory.
And in our interview with Adam Dorsey, I think he brought it up for just a second.
Yes.
So it's been around for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yes, Let Them. And I will say... Luckily, at the beginning of the book, she introduces it, but there's a second half to the saying.
Let them.
Let me. And truly, I was so skeptical of the book because I'm like, yeah, you can let them, but like, that sucks. And at the same time, it's like, let them, but then that still does harm. It can do harm to you.
Yes.
So what the heck? And then let me, I was like, okay.
It's about let them.
Get on board.
That's their power.
Now what's
let
my
me,
power?
What's my power?
Yes.
And it really, I've found that, and she really relates to very relatable stories, not things that aren't, you know, and she admits how hard it is and how that you have to repeat it and
over and over.
And
and I saw someone comment online, it's like, oh, well, she's just repackaging like advice anyway. And I'm like, is that really that bad? If she's just giving good advice in a way more people can understand? You know, it's like, to me, it's like, I hear let them, let me. I'm like, well, duh. But it's like, if I don't put it in those words, or if I don't have the same scenario she said, like, I don't think it's bad that she found a way to convey it to more people.
Exactly. The bottom line is there are no new ideas.
Because this
the
is,
way
let
we
them,
say
let me
them
sounds very Buddhist.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, it is. And she brings some of that in. It was,
and so it's like, of course it's been around, but...
And if people can hear it, if we hear things differently, and this really ties into our personal taste thing that we're going to be talking about, is there, I need to hear new metaphors.
Yes. Yeah.
So it shocks me to go, oh.
Let me remember this now.
Yes. And so what if we say something new? If we were always so fearful, and she mentions it, of saying what's already been said in our own voice, we wouldn't speak.
Yeah.
I thought about this when we started this podcast. I have nothing that anybody else doesn't know, but it's how you say things and being vulnerable enough enough to say them and just be you.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't speak to somebody, that's not a judgment on me.
No.
That's okay.
They just don't hear it that way.
So or you or anybody else I'm talking, and I think,
Yeah, for sure. So definitely recommend. Yeah, you should.
Good book. The audio, I like the audio. Sometimes I can't do audio books very well, but
but you like that
this one is one.
Cool. So today we're talking about personal tastes and how that ties into your personal growth. So I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to think like what goes into developing your personal taste, and I came up with kind of 3 big things.
Okay.
One, I think foremost, it is you. Like there are certain things I think you kind of are just born with and you just always like. And it's like watermelon will never change from being my favorite fruit ever. I was born on National Watermelon Day. That's preordained. Predestined. But it's just like, so there are certain things I think are just you.
Right.
And you can have the choice to express that or not. But there are things that it's you.
Right.
And then other obviously close relationships, the people you grew up around. I'm going to have similar taste to you and Dad because that's what I grew up with. It's like I'm going to have similar taste to my friends because that's the people that I talk,
Right.
That sort of thing. And then definitely society, social media and all of its great and badness and all that. But that, of course, is good because you want to fit in. That is natural. And so to me, those are like kind of the three big things that I think create your personal taste, you know?
Yeah, it does. Because I think of that. I think of the early influences of what I listened to in the home. However, my brothers have very different tastes in music than what I have in music.
Well, then it told you what you don't like.
That's
which
true.
Can be just as important.
Yeah, they listen to AC/DC, the hard stuff. Kurt listened to just about everything, but my dad was very country.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know what my mother listened to. Probably pop, but I listened to pop.
I'm guessing the only thing I remember from her house is that boombox that had all the Christian songs on it.
It had Christian, and then it had Engelbert Humperdinck.
What?
Oh, I'll have to introduce you to him.
So I think I just think she listened to hymns.
And Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett.
I guess those type
of
things. But it's just interesting because it's the home. Mm-hmm. Determine what you like and don't like.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Friends, and this was kind of hard for me. Like you said, there's something that in you that just kind of draws.
Yeah.
And we'll move on to some of the things.
Okay, we'll get
like
this. But it's like, it's like there are things that are, but I've just always, I mean, I love classical music, and I didn't even have to have much exposure to it to be drawn to it. I mean, it's not like you guys listen to it all the time. I had some exposure at church, and Dad, I mean, would listen to choir stuff, so I love listening to that stuff too.
Yes.
But it's like just the natural thing of classical music. That's me.
That's true because it never was on my radio.
Because here's the thing, I read these stories or listen to these interviews of these the Prodigy, a top classical musician, like, oh yeah, I grew up listening to Rachmaninoff on the. I'm like, no, didn't grow up doing that.
You didn't, but you did because of the church we went to. The music was a higher church, what they call higher church music. Yeah. So and Dad did
all
they
that
had
type of
orchestras and stuff a part of that.
Yeah.
But
I think I was just always naturally.
You just were drawn to that.
So I feel like there are things that are just like you.
Yeah.
So let's start off with maybe things that we've moved on from. Do you want to talk about that? So I think, in age, obviously age, for sure, that's a very big driver for not liking things anymore. Moving on from... You literally grow, and you grow out of things. So that's like the simplest, Right. So obviously, I used to be super into anime in high school, and my friends were influencing what you're into.
Yes.
I had my friend Mackenzie. We would see how many episodes we could watch in a night and beat each other.
Yeah.
But it's like I got into anime, got into manga, did that for a while, and I did enjoy it. Yeah. But again, that's like something without friends I probably wouldn't have been exposed to. 2000s pop music. It was good at the time. And it's like nostalgia when I hear it, but I'm not going to go back and listen to it on my own
all
now.
The time. Yeah.
And then honestly, things that I quickly move on from even now, I don't rewatch very many things. I'll rewatch Seinfeld, I'll rewatch a couple sitcoms, but once I'm done with the show or a movie, I'm pretty much done. I just don't rewatch it. And I don't think this is a big taste change because I kind of keep in the same genre, but it's definitely something I just don't. Books, I really don't reread books very much. Some people can reread a series over and over. I just don't do it.
When I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Did your taste in books change? Genre?
No, I don't think so. Because remember, I read those Lemony Snicket books.
Yes, and you still like those?
Oh, yeah. Well, and because that was very much more psychological, more suspense, more what's going to happen next, and then the super dry type of humor writing. And I still I love psychological thrillers. Historical fiction kind of grew into that, but I still like Ernest Hemingway, very dry, just to the point type of writing. And I'm very much I can't do fantasy because it's too fluff, too much description. I'm just get to the point. And that's how Lemony Snicket wrote. And so I think that has kept true.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think my style of what I like to read has been sometimes it's just fluff, mysteries, escapism. Other times I really like the theological or
stuff,
self-reflective, spiritual type of reading.
So what did you like when you were, in high school, college, and then you don't care about it anymore?
What that's a hard. I sit there and I think about that, and it's. I just moved on, right? From Little House on the Prairie.
Yes.
I used to love those type, but I still like those type because I watch All Creatures Great and
You
Small.
sure do, and that's
It's just enough tension, but you know it's going to work out.
Yeah.
I don't need extra drama, right?
It's so funny.
So it's like
yes, but that's kind of to me same genre. Like
it is the same genre, right? I
Yeah.
love sitcoms. I like fluff and that. I don't like the big horror or anything like that. I never have, and I still don't.
Yeah, yeah,
But kind of moves on. Music, that has grown.
yeah.
I don't think I left a lot behind.
Yeah, because you still love your 60s.
I still like the 60s music. I listen to the 70s on the thing. 80s are hit and miss.
Hit and miss, yeah.
And I like country, but I like pop.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I have grown in is when you started the classical.
Oh, yeah.
Which I never listened to. Mm-hmm. And now I enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, and I think you kind of had a background in it because you've always liked musicals too, right?
Always liked musicals.
Yeah. And so that's the classical is there in it.
Within it, yeah. But it's still different.
It's different.
Because there's nothing to sing along to, which really is the whole crux of why I listen to music.
So funny.
Things like that, like, remember you go to a concert and you get every t-shirt from every concert?
Yes.
No.
I know. I don't really do it either. I went to see Taylor Tomlinson recently, and I didn't get any of her merch. I'm like, I have my experience.
I don't need the merch. I don't need the...
I took my pictures, but it's like I don't need to go and buy anything.
Isn't that funny?
No. Yeah, I agree.
So...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. But there, so those type of things I've moved on from. I think of even food, taste, personality, that type of thing that expands. I don't think I necessarily move on. Because
I know, I don't eat chicken tenders every meal anymore.
No, thank goodness. And bagel bites.
Bagel bites. Oh my God, yes.
I haven't bought those.
No,
I had to buy those
time.
for a while.
Yes.
So those
so I think
type
a lot of things
right?
do naturally change. And then I'm trying to think of like specific things that have like have like my tastes have changed because of my own growth. Mm-hmm. And I feel like for me, that's just like a newer development. I guess I'll say it now because we kind of started to sign some stuff.
Yes.
I'm going to be officially divorced about probably in a few weeks from now. Yeah. If this is coming out in late April. Yeah. And so I just feel like a lot of me in a good way is changing. And like my personal taste in music, like, I mean, I grew up with some country because of you, but I really stopped listening to it like in high school and then did not really go back to it at all.
No.
And part of that is like my ex didn't listen to it either. And so it just like wasn't part of what I was around. And then now it's like, I'm kind of going back to that more and I'm enjoying it. And I'm like, I really like this. It's like rediscovering a personal taste. And then I'm starting the things that I want to wear. Is like adjusting and changing. I'm like looking at my clothes. I'm like, it just doesn't feel like me anymore. I feel different. I feel like I've grown. And so it's like, I want to grow in my, and how I express myself too. Yeah.
I think that's an exciting thing that we forget that we can do, that we can rediscover. Yeah. And and I'm going to read this quote that I found by Henry Schuckman from an article, The Unfamiliar Familiar. The world is dynamic and changing. Therein lies its freshness. But our ideas about it tend to grow static and calcified. Even our ideas about the most important things, who we are, how things are, why the world is the way it is, we get stagnant. And it's exciting when we go, wait a minute.
Do you want to be stagnant?
Do I want to be stagnant? Yeah. Do I want to change? Who am I?
Yeah.
What feels natural to me?
Yeah.
And thankfully we can grow in that.
Yeah.
And
have you felt different points in your life where it's like, I think for me, clothing is a very like quick and easy thing to be like, well, I want to pick out what I want to wear. And yeah, society is an influence because obviously you have people that are making clothes and they're doing trends and all this stuff. Yes. But different stores have different things. There's something for everybody. But have you noticed like, I'm not quite old enough to have experienced this because my basic,
what is she gonna say?
Changing what I wear goes from American Eagle when I was in high school and college to like the Loft to like very natural progressions of just you're getting older, and so go to a better store. But I love American Eagle, but it's like more upscale store. Right. But like for you, at certain, have you noticed your own personal style shift at all? Like just naturally out of how you feel?
Yes, and what I do keep coming back. There are certain things I keep coming back to because I'm very comfort oriented.
Oh yeah, you are.
I'm very comfort oriented. If it's too tight, if it's itchy, forget it. I need to be able to move.
I'll suffer through if I need to.
Yeah, and I'm like, but then my brain can't function as well.
Yeah.
I can't be relaxed, right?
Yeah.
So, but I have noticed, I want these colors. I need to venture out into this color and trying different things that way. And styles too. I mean, jeans suddenly change and this change, and so then your body shifts.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's those type of things that you're like, okay, what will look good and what would how do I venture out but still be comfortable with me?
Yeah.
Because how many times I have bought things because they look good on somebody else, or I thought I'm going to try them, I get them home, and if I wear them, I'm like, gosh, this doesn't, you don't feel real good in this. And it's not because I haven't stretched out, and it's like, okay, that wasn't you and you were trying.
Yeah. Oh,
just
for sure.
be, so that,
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah, there have been trends where it's like, oh, that looks so cute. And I put it on me and I'm like, not for me.
Right. Oh, and perms used to be so big.
I mean, I've seen your wedding photos.
I know.
I've seen your wedding photos.
I know. They were just...
And I have curly hair and I don't think I'd do a perm. Just saying.
Believe me. I wish I hadn't, but
it's what you do. True too, is hair. Now for me, honestly, I'm fine. My hair has been generally the same style for a very long time with, add in layers, do different things.
But
minor changes, but I don't color my hair. I don't stray from it, but it still, for me, feels very much me. But I've had a friend before, she let her hair grow out and then she realized that she liked her shorter cut pattern. She liked that feels. And so it's I think that sort of thing changes too. You can absolutely different
I had short hair for the longest time.
You sure did, through our entire childhood.
I know. And then it was like, why aren't I growing it out?
Yes. And now it works.
Because I know I cut it short because I didn't have time to deal with it with the kids.
Yes. But that's another thing too, is your own personal growth of well, what do I really want? How do I want to feel now? Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things I think about, and I don't want to name musicians. I don't want to. Well, I'm going to, because if I offend people, I'm sorry. But so sometimes there's musicians who never grow.
Yes.
Who are still doing the exact same songs, the same style, everything. Yeah. And you're like, that was then, please stop.
Yeah, it's haven't you
Elton
grown?
John is such an incredible, he has grown, he's changed, he does different music, and he just is still
him.
But he's grown and changed from what he's done. Barry Manilow, I loved Barry Manilow. Oh, I sang to every song, but
he
it's
hasn't changed.
Okay,
yeah. I get that.
Even
Tony Bennett sang with Lady Gaga.
Yeah, look, the change, and it's just and I think of that with ourselves. We're permission to try something, and if we don't like it, it's okay. Yes. It's not a judgment on that thing.
Yes.
If I try to listen to music, if I try something new, and I go, that's not me, that's not a judgment on the music. There's plenty of people that like it.
Oh, definitely.
It's just my taste.
Yes.
But we get so... it's not about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, I just want to make, I want to make a comment on how, social media and that sort of, it just, I think gets in our way of listening to ourselves, because everything is just so externally focused. It's other people. It's what do they like? What are they doing? Trying to keep up. And I think a lot of people can get just in this circle of that. Yes. And then it's you have to step away and be okay, but let me re-examine, what do I really like? Do I like listening to this music, or is it not really for me? Do I like it when I wear these pants that, I've seen everywhere else, or does it just not feel very comfortable,
And the other thing I think about is, have you been in a crowd and maybe there was a joke, or somebody thinks this one comedian's funny, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah. But it's
or a show is great, and you're not and
really
you find yourself really not laughing, or in your head going, I don't think that.
Yes.
Well, then don't think it. It's funny. You know, you don't have to.
You don't have to. Mm-hmm.
Find out what you like.
Yes. Oh, I'm very much that type of person.
There's freedom in that.
I'm very much that. If I'm in a crowd and everybody's like raving about one thing, but I don't really like it, I will still just go. I will just go along. And I'll just go along, and then later be like, why did I say that, or why did I act like that? You know, it's just like not very me. And I think it's like caught up in, well, what if I offend them? It's not offensive to not like something, you know, like that.
And there's ways you don't have to say, well, that's a stupid thing to like.
Right.
It's about,
you say, that
didn't hit me that way.
Yeah.
Or it's just not mine, you know, and that's okay because you're making your you statement.
Yeah.
Not them.
Yeah.
You know,
yes, that's the big thing is you statements.
Yeah.
And you're not making any judgment on them. Yeah.
And one of the things I think about, if we look back on things that we liked, things that we've grown from, done, you know, everything is a foundation for the next thing.
Yeah.
Whether I liked it or not liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether
that's so true.
It is a foundation. And I think about that with my faith.
Yeah.
You know, starting out with the simplest of songs and Bible verses and expounding from there. And it grows. And I think that's why any sacred scripture or readings that you read, when you read them one day, you read them the next year, and
it's so different.
They're different. Yeah. Because you are not the same.
Yes.
I've experienced every year, every month, every day probably, I experience new joys and I experience new sorrows and I experience new people and new things. Goodness, I hope I'm flexible enough to encounter those and live those. Yeah. And let myself be absorbed so that I can be a different person.
Yeah. And we've talked about this with Charles too. It's like it's just an easy analogy. So sorry if you're not religious, but it's just like, and it can be any sort of spirituality, but it's just like, you do make it so simple. And there are even things where it's like, I'm going to talk to him and tell him things. And it's like, I don't even fully agree, but it's like, this is the basis you need, you know,
this is something solid.
And then as you grow, then you can add your own thing to it. But yeah, we've talked about this a lot. It's like, no, he has to sing these songs. He's got to know, you know, these stories. He has to know these simple, you know, words, these simple phrases, because that is what everything is going to lay on. And at least he has something. Yeah.
You have something solid.
Yeah.
And then you grow from there. Cause I think about my own, and this is, you know, I can't help but say my personal taste and my personal growth of scripture, you know, I raised in the United Methodist Church, and strong foundation in there, religious studies, all that, you know, masters in religion. And you build on that.
Yeah.
And because I have that foundation and was going, well, is there more? What else is there? What other, you know, and meditation and getting into the Zen and the Buddhist traditions and reading about those and going, oh, how they complement each other.
Yeah.
Oh, I can be both and I can grow. You know?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, and I think it can be the same. Like, now Charles, he will go and pick out his own clothes. Yes. Whether or not I think they match or not. But that's already for him instilling, you can like what you like and put on what you want to wear. Yeah. And then he's going to grow. And then I'm sure he'll have influences from friends, from social, all that sort of stuff. But then he will always have the foundation of, I know how to pick my clothes.
Yes. And, you know, he's still wearing his Christmas pajamas, and that is just fine.
Oh, yes.
Santa on his PJs. I love that.
So funny.
Yeah. So, any of it?
No,
there's a book that I remember. It's called, and I would recommend, Everybody Needs a Rock by Byrd Baylor, Byrd Baylor. Pictures by Peter Parnell. And I love it because it's everybody needs a rock. And it talks about 10 rules for choosing your own rock. And if somebody asks you what's so special about the rock, don't even tell them. Nobody's supposed to know what's special about another person's rock. And she has 10 rules, or he has 10 rules. If you can go to a mountain made out of nothing but 100 million small, shiny, beautiful rocks, if you can't, an alley or sand will do, wherever you go.
Yeah. And
you're looking for one, don't let mothers or fathers or sisters or brothers or even best friends talk to you. you should choose a rock when everything is quiet. So it's,
That's
and
so
you know,
good.
we talked about listening.
Yes. Yeah.
To what you like.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's about choosing a rock.
Yeah.
You know, be quiet. Don't let somebody else choose your rock for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at some point in our life, it's just natural because you're influenced by others. But eventually you go, you know, I don't like that. And I remember when Lauren was 4, she looked at me because I was trying to pass on a dress from Sydney. And she looked at me, that's not me.
So
I like skirts.
So
And I thought, you're 4, you don't have an opinion. But by golly, she did and she still does. So, you know.
And I think too, like with that idea of this rock, I think it's okay if later in life you look at your rock and you're like, I don't really like it anymore. And then you go and you can find another one.
And that's what it says. You may carry this rock and you may have it forever. You may have it for a week. You may have it. And
so good.
Yeah. And the size must be perfect. Mm-hmm. You feel it with your hand. It's yours. It fits in your, you know, when you fidget, it fits in your hand, your fingers. Yeah. So it just, you look for the perfect color for you, you know, the shape is for you. And it's just a wonderful little book about it. Yeah. Yeah.
And the drawings are really
don't ask anybody to help you choose.
So good.
Yeah, they're very simple drawings.
But nice.
But anyway, yeah. So anyway, I'll
good. Yeah, you can link that.
Link that. Yeah. But it's just choosing who we are when we are.
Mm-hmm. When we are. I like that.
Because thank goodness we can grow.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of us, it takes a lot longer to get through school.
Yep.
Some of us, we change careers. Thank goodness we can do. Okay, speaking of this, my hairdresser was telling me, she's my age. Mm-hmm. And her husband was just kind of getting stagnant in his job, wasn't finding anything else to do. And he was ex-Marine years and years ago, but that, you know, and he always wanted to be police officers. Well, they shifted the age limit. Oh. They did away with it.
Wow.
And so I'm guessing he's late 50s, probably 60s. Yeah. And he
is going to go to the police academy?
He did. He went to the academy.
Oh
he's now a police officer in our area.
Wow.
And it was like, and I told her, I said, that is inspiring.
That is.
You know what? I don't have to just stop my dream. They changed it. So what's stopping me now?
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So you can change, you can grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Taste.
I love it. Yes.
All that good stuff.
Taste and everything. Yeah. So take some time, sit with yourself, make sure that you like what you're doing. Listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. And so you can still find us on our Instagram page, our Patreon, our website, email us anytime. Mm-hmm. We are getting into Mental Health Month next time. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we'll be having some interviews with some therapists and just give you guys some good mental health information.
Yeah. That's right. We look forward to next week when you take a breath and take a listen.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of An Incomplete Guide to Personal Growth. There are many ways you can stay connected. Follow us on Instagram at An Incomplete Guide Podcast, where you can sign up for our email list and get posts that delve deeper into our weekly topics. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast page wherever you listen to your podcasts. We would really appreciate a rating and sharing us with your family and friends.
We're so glad you chose to spend your time with us and hope there was a thought, a resource, or a laugh that you can take on your journey. We'll be here every Tuesday for you to take a breath and take a listen.